Welcome back to Wave of Docker. This video is episode 2 of Week in Music, covering January 8th to the 15th. Or no, it's the 8th to the 12th. But it's a week. We're talking about a week. But yeah, this is the second episode of Week in Music where I talk about the albums I listened to this week. So far, last episode we went over 3 albums. This week is also 3 albums, but it may increase to 4 or 5, or could be 2. It just depends on when I have the time to listen to an album. This week it is 3 albums. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Let's get into the video talking about these albums. Like and subscribe. I hope you guys enjoy. The first album of the week is Caroline Polachek's Desire I Want to Turn Into You. I listened to this album on Monday, January 8th. This album came out last year. I'd heard great things about it, mainly from the YouTube channel Hive Mind, but on TikTok I've seen people talk about it, and on Twitter. It was heralded as one of the best albums of the year, and I can see why. It was really fantastic. I never listened to any of Caroline Polachek's stuff before, and really haven't heard anything like it in terms of like the complete product of this album. Her voice is fantastic. The production is unique. And I think like her vocal range was pretty impeccable. Like, it was really cool to listen to. She would go on these runs that I thought were just like, wow, like it's incredible that her voice can reach those levels. She went on a few runs, I think, early in the album. Once again, I talked about this last video. It's very seldom that I'm going to be talking about specific songs in these albums, because I'm listening to them front to back without really checking my phone. I'm going on a walk and just letting the music play, and I'm not really being like, oh yeah, this song's good, blah blah blah. Those thoughts will come later, and if I happen to remember a title of the song, I will talk about it. But for most of these albums, it's going to be me just talking about the total product of the album. But back to what I was saying, she went on this run very early in the album that was very reminiscent of some of the vocal ranges of Shakira I've heard, where she gets like this very this throaty depth where it's like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's just it was very impressive. Her voice is awesome, and it was just, honestly, it was one of the best albums I listened to that has come out in the last 2 or 3 years. I really thought it was fantastic. I'm looking forward to listening to more of Caroline Polachek and just seeing what she's able to come up with from here on out. But I definitely want to go back into her discography and check out more of her stuff, because I was very impressed. I thought it was fantastic, and if I had to give it a score, I'm gonna give it 4 hot dogs out of 5. Really fantastic. I think just a very fantastic voice. I don't know, not much else to say. You should check it out for yourself. Desire I Want to Turn Into You by Caroline Polachek. It's just awesome. I really, there's not much else for me to say. Just an amazing voice, really cool production, and it's just like, it's like poppy, kind of like, I don't really know. Like, it's just, you're not watching these videos for a deep, insightful analyzation of music. I'm going off vibes here, and I really like this album. So 4 hot dogs out of 5 for Desire I Want to Turn Into You by Caroline Polachek. Up next, Wednesday's album. This was suggested to me by a good friend and fan of the show, my friend Griffin. Griffin, if you're watching this, I love you, buddy. Thank you very much for the suggestion. He gave me a few albums to listen to, and I chose this one for this week. And this album is, I'm like so tired, my eyes hurt. Last Year Was Weird Volume 2 by TK Maidza. Maidza, if I'm pronouncing that right, I'm sorry. Or if I'm pronouncing that wrong, I'm sorry. If I'm pronouncing that right, that's awesome. Last Year Was Weird Volume 2, TK Maidza, came out in 2020. More of an EP, very short album. It was around like 28 minutes long, and I enjoyed it. This is gonna sound like kind of like a very like shallow, not shallow, but like this kind of just shows my lack of depth in this sort of genre. But the variety in this album, based on like the different vibes of each song, kind of felt reminiscent to that of Camp by Childish Gambino, his debut studio album in 2011. There were some songs on this that were very like heavy. I don't know, like it was very like intense rap. There were some very intense rap songs where like the beat was like it kind of like in your face, like it was really good, like really like like it was hard hitting. Like it was I don't know, what's that one, Heartbeat, I think, by Childish Gambino on that album, where he's like rap. It's like very like emotional and heavy. There are songs like that, but then there are also songs that were more chill and more like melodical, and she has a really fantastic voice. Like the opening track on this was really like chill, and I kind of like teed up an album like in my head where I was like, wow, okay, this is gonna be like a nice like chill, very like nice chill vocals, like kind of like very like soothing almost, but then, it gets into some of these songs where it's like, oh, okay, this beat's like pretty nice. This is like heavy music. And I don't mean this in like a way of like insulting it, but there were some songs on it where it felt like it was like commercial music, where like the beat was very like, I don't know, like I was listening to like one of the songs about like a third of the way through the album on Walk, and I was like, okay, I feel like I could hear this in like a commercial for like Target, and not in like a bad way. I don't think it's not cliche in the sense where it's like a lot of pop songs are, where it's like formulaic, but it just felt like it was a very like easy to like beat, and I feel like it's a beat that a large audience could find themselves really enjoying. But I mean, I did enjoy this album. There are a lot of songs in this that I thought were really interesting, and I liked the range of this album. Like it wasn't like, obviously, it's cool when albums have a unique sound or a similar sound all throughout, but it was cool for an album. Like I've listened to an album recently where it's like these different peaks and drops where it's like, oh, okay, we're going this route, but then a song or two songs later, it's like boom. It's like, I don't know, it kept like flip-flopping my expectation of what it was going to be. It was cool. It kept me on my toes, and I enjoyed it. If I do this album a ranking, I would give this album a 3 hot dog out of 5, maybe 3.5, but I don't think we're gonna do half ratings on the show. If we're gonna go bread and butter, just singular ratings, I'm gonna go 3 hot dogs out of 5. I enjoyed it, but not as much as some other stuff that I listened to recently. But Griffin, thank you for the suggestion. A lot more of your album suggestions will be coming up in recent videos. But yeah, this album was awesome. Really cool cover art, I'd have to say. Like one of the more unique. It was very colorful. It was I really enjoyed the cover art of it. That always plays a role in like not really my listenability of it, but just my initial impression of what the album's going to be. But I really enjoyed this album. Last year was Weird Volume 2 by TK Maidza. TK Maidza? I don't know. 3 hot dogs out of 5. And finally, the first album of 2024 that I've listened to on this show and for my personal use, American Dream by 21 Savage. I listened to that Friday, the day it came out, Friday, January 12th. American Dream by 21 Savage. I didn't do my point, but it'll pop up when I say it the first time, whatever. This album was a disappointment for me. I really like 21 Savage. He has some fantastic features. Savage Mode 2 is a really cool album. It's really, like, a lot of the features that he has on that album are awesome. He has like the Drake feature, Mr. Right Now, Snitches and Rats, Young Nudie, Rich David shit with Young Thug. That album's awesome. Him and Metro work really well together. 21 Savage has some fantastic features. Till Further Notice on Utopia is one of my favorite songs of last year, and it's been really growing on me. And I think he's a great artist, but I think his fatal flaw that I hadn't really noticed until I saw a lot of discourse about it, where it's like, I mean, I had noticed it, but I didn't really like put like a negative spin on it. But as someone who's starting to get more into music and is really enjoying innovation that these artists are doing with their songs and their sound, 21 Savage really hasn't escaped this sort of pocket that he's in with his sound. He has the same flow, he's rapping about the same things, and it just kind of gets like tiring. And like I'm someone, like some of my favorite artists, like Playboi Carti was my top artist last year. I love Playboi Carti. And he has gone on this unique sound journey where if you listen to a song off of self-titled, like, I don't know, like Do That Shit, and then you listen to a song like, I don't know, like Punk Monk, you'd be like, how is this the same artist? It's cool. I really enjoy when an artist is able to go on that journey and be like, you know what, I really like that sound, but it's time for me to evolve and do this. Or an artist like Clairo, songs on Diary 001, her EP. Like if you listen to a song like Flaming Hot Cheetos and you listen to a song like Reaper off of Sling, you're like, okay, we see Clairo made an emotional journey there and was able to change her music and her sound to go from a more bedroom pop to a more, indie, very slow acoustic, more soft vocals. And I love when an artist is able to do that. I really enjoyed the Andre 3000 album. His jazz, ambient, flute album. The sound is escaping me. The New Blue Sun, whatever. That album, it came out of nowhere. One of the best rappers of all time, or he's held in that regard. Part of the most iconic rap ensemble of all time. Then he makes this fantastic, like hour-long ambient jazz album. Like being able to make that journey. But 21 Savage is someone who's kind of been able, and I'm not saying he's incapable of doing it. I just feel like he has found himself in a rut, and he's succeeding in this rut. And this album is good in that sense, where it's like this, but it's good. These songs are good, but it feels like 15 singles. These songs, they could be on any 21 Savage album. Like, he's rapping about the same stuff. And my biggest gripe with this album, I think, the interlude, the first song, I think it might be called American Dream. I forget. Like I said, I don't check the titles of the songs. It's, you know, like a beat with his mother talking about how she had to make sacrifices for him to live, you know, the ideal American life. It's called American Dream. It's a picture of young 21 Savage on the album cover. And it has, you know, this like emotional, like kind of like talking about, you know, like I had to make these sacrifices for my son to have a successful and ideal life. And then he goes on and raps about the same shit that he's been rapping about for the last 5 years. Is the American Dream really, and I don't want to sound like I'm some dumbass white guy. I am a dumbass white guy, but I'm just trying to say, in the sense of music, is the American Dream getting head and putting ops in the grave and hitting girls from the back? Is that the American Dream? And I don't know, it's just, in the sense of the sound of the album, it's a good album. These are good songs. He's a great feature for Travis Scott. The Young Thug feature was fantastic. I love Young Thug. Brent Faiyaz was on it. It was awesome. Summer Walker, you know, Maria the Scientist. Like, the features were good. I think the features outclassed 21 Savage on every song that he was on. I think that they outperformed him, and they made the songs as opposed to 21 Savage. He's doing the same shit on the same beat, talking about the same stuff. I just feel like it's, I don't know. You title it American Dream. You have a semi-emotional interlude from your mother on the opening track, and you continue to rap about the same stuff you've been rapping about your entire career. Like, when is, I sound like a hater, and I'm talking about, I'm punching up. I think that's, you know, I think I'm okay to do that. I'm not punching down. 21 Savage is a millionaire, and he's getting ahead, and that's awesome. You know, I'm jealous, but I'm able to punch up, and it's just like, when are you going to be able to, as an artist? And I feel like he may be someone who's, I don't know, maybe he's someone who is less interested in his musical ability and more interested in, like, I'm making money from this. And that's okay. But I'm curious if he's ever going to be able to look at himself and be like, you know what? It's time for a sound change. You look at Lil Yachty. He was, you know, I don't even know what to describe his genre, but he's known as this rapper. You know, he has all these great rap songs. I sound like such a dickhead and I'm such a moron right now. And then he makes an album like Let's Start Here, where it's like, whoa, Yachty made that change? Like, I'm curious if 21 Savage is ever going to make that step and be like, you know what? It's time for a sound change. It's time for me to evolve my sound. Because I feel like while you may get a lot of hate at the beginning because, you know, people love these songs. You know, he's one of the most beloved artists in the game right now because of this sound and because of, like, he's very consistent in that sense. He's consistent, but he's consistent in a genre, or he's consistent in a sense where it's like, you're not willing to make these leaps to be kind of improve or evolve. And it's just kind of, I don't know, it's kind of disappointing because I like 21 Savage. I think he's a great personality. His features are fantastic. Like, he has good music, but as someone who likes to see these artists evolve, I just want to see him, you know, make that leap to be like, you know what, it's time for a change. I went on a long rant there, but I was listening to it and I was just like, this just sounds like the same stuff you've been doing for the last 5 years, 21. 21, can you do something for me? Can you change your sound a little bit? Boom, mic drop, 2 hot dogs out of 5. American Dream, a little disappointed. I'm not gonna lie, but like I said, I mean, it's 15 singles. If these were singles that he released, I'd be like, dude, hell yeah. But this is 15 songs and an album called American Dream with an interlude from your mother, and you're rapping about getting head, shooting people, and hitting girls from the back when you've been doing that the entire time. You know, you could have titled I Was American Dream, and it would, like, there's nothing in my brain is like, you know what, like that, I don't know, it's just innovate, please. And that's coming from someone who isn't a producer, who is not musically inclined. Just innovate, please, for the sake of my ears. Please. 2 hot dogs out of 5, American Dream. My alarm went off. 2 hot dogs out of 5, kind of disappointing, but you know what? That's music. You know, you're not going to like everything you listen to. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video, I guess. I don't know. But keep listening to music. Keep sending suggestions my way. I really appreciate it. And I love you guys. Peace out.